Hello guys, welcome back. I'm your friend InSaxo, and here it's a new me. Totally different. I got a new device for my video. As you can hear right now that my voice got a better quality. So from this moment on, I can be more focusing on my project instead of my speaking level because I think it's already good enough. As long as you can hear me, as long as you can understand me, that's enough, right? Here I'm going to give you some clue about what I was doing recently. You can say it even from the issues that I opened on others' repository. The first one is food tools. How to replace a range of characters with space in a TTF character set. At this issue, I described the situation I encountered when I want to convert all Chinese characters to spaces. But it's already been it takes me about 14 days to wait for the other to reply me, but it just didn't. So I cannot do this. I cannot continue on that stuff. Here is the second issue. In this issue, I just found I just simply cannot use the pyfake webcam library. The other released that stuff on his repository, but it is 2 years ago. Now, if you run the example code, you'll get an error as I did. So I just opened an issue 8 days ago. I hope the other could check it out and give me a reply so I can continue to do the pyfake webcam stuff. You know why I want to do that in here? It's very simple because my camera, the quality of my camera isn't very good. At least it doesn't have any functionality to make me looks more awesome than I was in reality, you know. So it's kind of weird, you know. At today's society, people in China would use their Android phone or iPhone to take pictures, take beautiful pictures out of them. You know, they can use those photos to cheat others, to show others that they are beautiful, but actually they're not. You know, that's the point. So I want to use this library to make the webcam of my computer or anywhere or anyone's computer record better videos or record better images for them to publish it on the internet. Another comment I made in the past few days ago is the porn star functionality. You know, the face swap stuff. From here, you can say this is the target image or the original image or the original face. And here's the new face, which is this mine you are looking at. It is me. So I just use the new face to put it onto the original face. So you can say the new face, the swapped face on the right side. It's quite awesome for me when I do this. But actually the code was not originally made by me. It's made by some others on the internet. I just copied them and pasted those code to my repository. And of course, I made some comments and modification to fit the porn star repository. But right now, this functionality got some bugs. For example, it cannot process multiple faces. It's a serious bug because normally we will get a lot of face to processing instead of every time you just giving the algorithm one face image. It's not possible in reality. I don't know, maybe I'll work on that to let it support multiple face in one image. And here, another one repository that I made weeks ago is success people who dropped out. I made this to encourage some people like you or me to keep working until success. So at this last, I found something that's just amazing. I found that the GitHub co-founder and the former CEO was dropped out in his life and when he was in college. And also the Microsoft Corporation, the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation, the Bill Gates, he also dropped out when he was at the school. And again, the Oracle Corporation, the co-founder of that company, this guy Larry Ellison was also dropped out when he was in the college. And again, I don't know how to spell those people's name, but they are good. You just have to know how big impact they made in this world. You can say again, the Apple company, the Facebook company, the Dell Technologies, and the Twitter, the Uber, the Evernote, the WhatsApp, the Spotify, the Tumblr, the BlackBerry, and VIPCat, and the KFC. I also added this old man to this list because I think he is great when he do this, because it's quite impossible. It's quite amazing for such an old man to create such a big business, historical business. Here's another one. You can use TensorFlow to get the opposite of a sentence. It's quite easy for my opinion, but you have to collect a lot of data for doing that. For me, I just couldn't endure to write those data by myself. I have to write one sentence, then write an opposite of that sentence. It's quite boring, so that's why I didn't actually make this repository public, because I haven't get enough dataset yet. But I think it will work. It will definitely work, because to get the opposite of that sentence, it's just as easy as do translating neural network. It's quite simple. After all, those people already told you how to write a translation neural network. And here's another one. No more Chinese exposed. That's a good repository for me, because the first version, the original version of No More Chinese is a Charm extension. You can download it from the Charm store or somewhere else. It also supports the Firefox if you search it out. And if you enable this extension, it will detect the language of the current table in your browser. If it finds that the stuff that you are browsing has some Chinese code or have some Chinese characters in it, it will close it immediately. But for this exposed repository, we do things very different. We will try to convert all those Chinese words to spaces. As you can see, here is an example of that. In normal situation, after the 5 circles, under the 5 circles, it will show you some Chinese characters, but now it all gone because of that exposed module, I guess. Yeah, totally. Okay, here is another repository that I made. Install Python with Golang. That's why I gave it the name like that. Well, simply enough, I just wrote the whole stuff with Golang. At the beginning, I was thinking, okay, what if the user haven't installed any Python stuff? What will happen? Well, simply enough, the user will not be able to use our software. So I just think, oh, maybe we should install the Python for user automatically. I just did some research, and I found, oh, it's just like the impossible thing. So you cannot do that. For the Linux platform, it's quite easy. You just have to use one command to install the Python. It's quite simple. But for the Windows platform, it's not. You have to click a lot of buttons, next, down, and all that sorts of stuff. It's quite boring. But with this library, with this Golang library, you can do it in an easy way. Because I just wrapped all the Python installer binary to this model, so to this library, so you can call it to install the Python executable to your Windows user. It will pop up a window to ask the user to click the next down, and after that you will know whether the user has already installed that Python version for you. If it is, you can go on start to execute some Python code on your user's machine. But again, I don't think it's a good idea for your user, because that's too much for your user. What your user wants is a simple, single executable file. So what can you do about it? You can simply use the py installer to do that job for you. It's quite useful for the Windows platform. And I knew it because I made a lot of Windows executable from Python by using the py installer library. It's quite good. And for the following plans, I don't have any plans. Instead of, I just wrote an post to describe the situations in the last year and also the situations in this year. In this year, I want to show you that passage as quickly as possible. Okay, here we go. The preview in 2019 and the plans for 2020. It will show you the failures that I made in 2019. First, I said I want to be normal at no, it's not I want to. It's just some kind of claim that I should be normal at the university. But actually I didn't. I can never be a normal person. I seek for the extremes. I seek for the extreme. It can be perfect or it can be the worst. 2, I said I want to accumulate knowledge instead of crazy output at the school. But actually I did is no. I just don't have any free time to learn useful stuff due to the fucking school stuff. I can't even sleep well, remember? Back to the school, I just got maybe 6 hours per day to sleep. It's quite awful in that environment. It's not a good place for human to be. You may ask me why. Well, it's simple enough. You want to sleep, but your classmates want to play games with the fucking speakers, very loud noises. You cannot sleep well. The third point is learning English by writing notes, including the university notes. Actually, I did. Oh my gosh. In the end, I totally gave up. I wrote my notes using Chinese because I just cannot find the right translation for what I have learned during the classes I attend. I think it's a sign of uselessness because it at least indicates that other people in another country, for example the US, the French, the Australia, the UK, won't learn it. You know what? I just couldn't find the English version of what I have learned. That's so bad. Again, what I have done in 2019. Okay, the bad points I just said in there. Now I'm going to tell you what I did or what I have done in 2019. The first one, don't eager to code at school. Do it after you get home. Yeah, I don't have time anyway. Yeah, I don't have time at the school. I only have time when I'm back to home. 2. The body exercise. I did it at home in the last month of this year after I bought an indoor horizontal bar and a boxing punching saddlebag. After I bought the 2 exercise devices, I can do exercise every day at home without any trouble. And I have learned how to use Vue.js. Yeah, indeed. I can use the Vue.js library to do some front-end work, for example, making a website with the modern technology, with the modern CSS, and stuff like that. I must say the Vue.js is much easier to learn than React.js. And I have learned how to control PX4 Drone with Raspberry Pi and Python. Well, I know that Drone is simply because I have to attend a match at the university, and that match requires you to know how to control the drone. And I have learned how to use Gang.js. At the beginning, I didn't know anything about the Gang.js. It's a person that I used to know that he told me that I should learn this, so I went to there and I started to learn this stuff, and it took me almost a few months because, as you know, I don't have time at school, so I have to learn it when I back home. After I back home, and for that I wrote an tutorial for the Gang.js. Of course, it's for beginners. I am a beginner, remember? Okay, now here's the plans to do at the 2020. The first one is say goodbye to the school. Yeah. What? You? Okay, F you, school. And for this, I already mentioned to you that I created a repository, which name is Success People Who Dropped Out. Yeah, I should say goodbye to the school. Yeah, I should say that. It can be 2 options for me. The first option is graduate and say goodbye to the school. The second option is just drop out. You don't need that. Okay. Here's the point 2, the second plan for this year. Keep learning to become an expert in machine learning or on machine learning or at machine learning, whatever you say it. This sentence is very important. You don't want to be someone who just know little about the machine learning. You can't. If you do that, you will simply, you will generally realize that you cannot do anything with the machine learning. All the things that you could do is to call others library, to import others library, to do some basic stuff, but that's not enough, and that's not good for you, I guess, because everyone can do that. Okay, here's a simple sentence for those people who want to be extraordinarily good at just one sentence. Never do those things that others can easily do. If you do that, you can never be an expert of that area. The third point is try anything to get money at home. Here I just implies the try anything words because it's very important. Why I say it is very important, because if you cannot get money at home, if you cannot get that, you cannot survive at this world, because you cannot buy any food and you can't afford your house free, and you cannot do anything anyway. You even cannot afford the internet fee for you, so you cannot connect to the internet. So what else you can do? No, you can't do anything. You cannot do anything if you cannot get money from home. The fourth point is rebuild an open source WeChat if I can. It's optional. I don't have to do it actually, because we can see a lot of software that already have this kind of thing. I don't know whether you know the WeChat, but I'm going to tell you it's something like the Facebook, something like the WhatsApp, something like the Tuber, or something like the Twitter, or something like the Telegram, especially the Telegram. The Telegram, for me, for my opinion, I think the Telegram is just an open source of WeChat. It's no different. You can do it in both of them, but for my opinion, in my thinking, I think the Telegram would be better than the WeChat. It's more open, and it won't limit you to a small area. Instead, it will connect you to the whole world. So it's very good. If you haven't used the Telegram before, try it now. Okay, that's it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.